I'm Salim Asgarally and
Hi, I'm Veenaa Bakshi.
and we are on the Daily I Show again. And Veena, I think one of the biggest problems facing the country today is unemployment. Large-scale unemployment, I think standing at 6.1% almost, which is a 45-year high, which is really worrisome.
Why? We're getting the bullet train.
Well, where are we going in the bullet train if we do not have a job to go to?
Ahmedabad.
I'm with you.
Yeah, the thing is, Salim, let's just look at the reasons for this unemployment. And just in short, is that one, there's a huge economic slowdown.
Completely, I agree with you. Economic slowdown, which has really brought a lot of things to a standstill.
Absolutely. My God, in the last 3 months, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 big companies have shut down, 5 auto companies have closed production.
They've closed production. There is a reduction in car sales, scooter sales, tractor sales. Even rail freight tariffs have had to be adjusted because there's just not enough of rail freight happening.
Yes.
So which spells that the economy is not churning the way it should be.
2.5 lakh auto jobs are gone. There's 2.5 lakh people as we speak who don't have any employment.
And agriculture itself has slowed down. So there have been many people who have fallen off the agricultural grid.
In fact, you and I were just, before we started this, we were arguing about how agriculture, is
The mainstay.
Yeah, so what are they going to eat? That was the question.
Yes.
One of the things that's happening because of this, Salim, and which you will agree, that's what we're here to talk about today, is the widening gap of gender parity in terms of pay scales as well as the workforce.
Which is directly related also somewhere to this entire unemployment scenario that is happening, which has widened the gap.
So tell me, now I'm going to throw questions at you. Why the slowdown?
I think the slowdown started somewhere in 2016, right? And soon after that, we had something called demonetization, which really spelled...
I'm not going to respond to that.
it really actually put the last nail into the coffin. In the sense, the informal sector was very badly affected, and you saw a large-scale shutting down of small-scale industries, small manufacturing units, and of course agriculture also. Along with that, the formal sector, that's the corporate sector, also started slowing down because now with jobs less in the informal sector, the demand started dropping for things like FMCGs, which are the last actually to show a slowdown. But they all slowed down, and today what we have is people have lost jobs because units have shut down, manufacturing facilities have shut down. Even in the corporate sector, they're not able to keep up with the pace any longer.
In fact, I have this figure here somewhere which I was looking for. Yes, this is something which I found.
Yes.
Can you, since you spoke of Jan 2016, Salim, since Jan 2016, the women who are participating in the workforce in India have dropped. In 2016 Jan, there were 17% women in the workforce. February 2019, that has reduced to 10%. So, my next question to you, who stands largely to lose in this tightening, in this squeezing, in this whole economic slowdown?
Of course. I mean, there is no question about it that women are greater affected by this entire slowdown, by this entire unemployment scenario than men are. And there are very good reasons for that happening, in the sense that first of all, we have to realize that women were always the backbenchers because of a very patriarchal mindset that existed. Women were not really allowed to come out there and work. There were mobility issues for them and many other issues because of which we see a lesser participation of women in the workforce.
And like rightly what you said, is that there's so many reasons. Even for a woman who is, let's say, she's educated, she's qualified, everything, bank manager, heading a branch, heading a district, whatever, and her next transfer, which also means a promotion, which also means better economic upliftment, better salary and stuff. So what happens, Salim? She gets this transfer, let's say she's in Pune, and she gets this transfer with a promotion to Hisar in Haryana. Suddenly, mobility becomes an issue.
Yes.
How can you leave your children and go? What's going to happen to the home? What about the in-laws? The husband?
And also, just as you rightly pointed out, even when they are in the workforce, they have to step back.
Yeah.
Because you really don't have dads who stay at home. So coming back to what you were saying, it is also, of course, another big issue, Veena, is the mother-in-law.
Oh God.
So if you have a great mother-in-law who's going to take part in sharing that responsibility, you're a lucky one. But if not, it could be real bad.
You know, funnily, we keep saying, all the time, all of us have said it in various debates and various conversations about what a patriarchal society we have.
Yes.
Okay. The funny part is the mother-in-law and the quintessential sister-in-law are more patriarchal than the men in the family.
Yes.
They are the ones who actually set the rules. And it's rightly said, and I mean, yes, we make jokes of it. I mean, I have to say this, Salim, is that yes, I come from as far as my job is concerned, I come from a privileged background. I have been supported, okay, in what I do, how I do, where I go in. Oh yeah, you must go ahead kind of thing. I'm one of the lucky ones. But there are so many of them who are constantly reminded by their in-laws.
And what I find rather worrisome and it's also kind of sad is there are women in the workforce in the formal sector who at a certain stage in their career, especially when they're reaching the 35 to 40 kind of an age bracket, you see that they suddenly start dropping out of the workforce. Why? And one of the reasons is motherhood, of course. The other reason being that they are just not included in decision-making processes, because by that time of their career, they have come to a point where they are able to take policy decisions. They need to move up there, but for some reason, and that's again the patriarchal mindset, where they are pushed away from there. So that's an observation that I have made.
No, you're absolutely right. Decision-making is something which everything runs on, basically.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Let me simplify the thing. Your house runs on decision-making, your office runs on decision-making, including buying vegetables run on decision-making. Everything runs on decision-making. But unfortunately, this has been taken away from women. So what you say is that in the age group of 35 to 40, when women start dropping out of work, one is they're not being allowed to take decisions on what they should be doing. Oh, but now the children are going to school. I mean, who's going to look after their studies?
Exactly.
तुमको घर पे तो रहना पड़ेगा.
Yes, unless they have very good household help, they have a maid. In spite of that, if they are to leave home at, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning, they may just get an hour or two with their kids in the morning, and when they come back, if they come back and they don't have those lengthy meetings that keep them back in the office, some of them which are a real waste of time, then the kids are in bed. Most mothers can't deal with that, and they feel they owe it to their children. So that's where
the guilt factor
that comes in.
This guilt factor is put across. In fact, somebody was saying this is one of the areas of work where women actually are considered in terms of decision making. But again, you are given that consideration of decision making is the farm sector. Okay, so here a woman can work on the farm and have her baby slung in little swing, between the trees, so that your child is with you. It's like a creche kind of a thing.
Yes.
But she is allowed to be over there as long as she can look after the child also. So the father of the child is working in the field.
True.
Okay, maybe a few feet away from her. But he will turn around and ask her, have you fed the child? But won't take that responsibility by himself. So once again, it's not her decision. She's been given the decision of making a decision.
Yes.
There were some very interesting statistics that you were talking of before we began. Which I really would like you to share with viewers. One is that on a certain survey report, the gender parity, or rather gender disparity, has really increased, and India has dropped certain numbers in a global focus, and ridiculous it sounded, and also there were certain statistics that you were talking about.
So, Veena, it's rather worrisome to note that India has fallen 21 places in its world ranking on gender disparity. So today we are placed at 108. We are far behind Bangladesh, we are far behind China, we are far behind Russia, and there is a country like Rwanda, which is a sub-Saharan country, which is up there at number 2 in gender disparity.
1 minute. Rwanda is number 2.
That's right, it's number 2.
So they're doing that much better in terms of gender parity than India, which is supposed to be an upcoming economic miracle and all that
It's not an upcoming miracle, it is the second fastest developing economy in the world, supposedly.
Supposedly, that's right. No, I'm a little taken aback with the numbers. So we are at 121?
At 108.
108.
Yes.
Oh, we dropped 21 numbers. Sorry,
we dropped 21 places.
Yeah,
we are at 108, ranked 108 now, and Rwanda is up there at number 2. Interestingly, Rwanda has over 50% of women in parliament itself. So there you've got how far the others have gone to narrow this gap at gender disparity. And of course, within that gender disparity, there are various parameters at which it's judged. So there are parameters such as you have economic participation, at which we are 139.
Okay.
Health and survival is 141, education is 112, political empowerment we've done better. We are at 15. So there we've done better, but economic participation is still at 139, way behind.
You know, in terms of political, I was going to talk about in terms of political empowerment, because you said that Rwanda has a parliament which has got 50% women.
Yes.
Here, for the last so many years, there has been a discussion which begins and ends right over there on the so-called women's reservation bill. Okay, that there has to be 33% reservation for women. It has never even reached, it's not even reached a figure of 25 to 27% in most places. Forget parliament, but even in terms of jobs and companies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So 33%. Now even at 33%, it should actually be a 50% participation for women.
I agree.
Okay, I mean, even when you're speaking 33% is almost like you're doling out some kind of largesse, you know, to women saying, oh, good girl, you know, now that you're being a good girl, we'll let you be a part of this. That said is one. Then second is the figure that you spoke about health and,
yes.
you know, yeah, which is
health and
survival. Do you know, even today, Salim, there are many places not far from Bombay. I was reading this horrible article in the paper of right now because of the floods and stuff. This little place called Diva. Okay.
It's close to Thane, right?
Close to Thane. Yes. It's roughly 70 kilometers from Bombay, 50 kilometers from Bombay. Diva doesn't have a clinic. Okay? They don't have a clinic or a hospital. So if anybody is ill, deliveries and things like that, and right now with all the
floods and the water logging and everything else that's going on,
they are running to Dombivli and Kalyan, you know, to get the medicines and to get people who are ill being admitted to hospitals and stuff. You know, the thing is, Salim, this whole thing brings down to the question that you started with, is who are the people who are making these decisions? Unfortunately, it's the men. So what's happening is the patriarchy, which is such a huge issue in this country. And something that we were discussing first is, where does the patriarchy come from? It comes from property.
Yes.
It comes from inheritance.
Yes.
So the patriarchs, the men, they are the ones who are deciding what is the percentage of women who will be involved in informal, formal industry or work sector. They are the ones who will take a decision, even for that matter, on a gender of a child. Okay, which is why there is this whole thing about female infanticide and things like that. They are the ones who will take a decision on where are the children in the house going to study, who's going to study how much, who's going to be doing science, art, doctor kaun banega, engineer kaun banega. It's the men who are taking the decisions.
Yeah, because
the men, I even asked, I mean, it comes down to this level, Salim, where the men are asked in the morning, what are you going to have for lunch today? Even that decision is not the woman's decision. You know, so while yes, we do agree there has to be a 50% decision making, you know, in terms of it sounds very nice, but it's not happening.
So what men need to understand, and we as a society, we as a country need to understand, and the world needs to understand, that women are not property. You can't own women, right? Whereas if you see the men, they're more in control of everything, which is directly related to how it operates otherwise. Women are to be controlled. Women are property. So this needs to change. When this changes, this mindset changes, we can move forward and start narrowing the gender gap.
Like this whole celebration, which I kind of found a little ridiculous, sorry, I may sound strange, which I celebrated because I was really happy, you know, that yay, we've got this whole thing, but which was actually turned into a bit of a misogynistic celebration was after Mangalyaan was launched.
Yeah.
This is what scientists look like. And there were these wonderful women, you know, in saris and gajras and all, celebrating. What were these women celebrating? They were celebrating the success of their knowledge, you know, and their job in launching that Mangalyaan and having used their brains in doing this catapult thing.
Yeah.
And what were we celebrating as a social media and, you know, as people is, wow, women scientists, you know, women scientists can also wear saris. Can you believe this? I mean, you actually degraded that whole bunch of very powerful women. You know, right now there's some kind of a film made, I think Mangalyaan or something. You know, to my horror, what the promo was, is this A-lister actor, okay, Akshay Kumar, who is the head of this whole operations and also called ISRO, not they didn't call it ISRO, they called it something else, who is guiding these women into launching this Mangalyaan.
So it comes to the same thing.
It comes to the same thing. Why aren't we celebrating? Now just look at this. Once again, speaking from exactly the point you're saying, is that we need to empower women, we need to do this. Now look at this, Salim, don't you agree with me? If we had, even forget the film, but if we celebrate these scientists, okay, as scientists, and say they did it, this was a team, they did it, there would be some girl sitting in some village somewhere saying, if she can do it, I can do it.
Also, Veenaa, I think it's, you know, we attach a lot of gender to everything.
I know.
Why do we need to attach so much gender to everything? It's a scientist. Now, whether it's a man or a woman, shouldn't really make a great difference. You know, I found 7 very interesting facts on gender inequality. I mean, it'll blow your brains away. I found that women are 47% more likely to suffer injuries in a car crash than men. You know why? That's just one of the statistics that I'm going to pour out to you today. It's because most of the safety features in a car are designed for men.
For men.
They're not designed as per the body structure or where the neck muscles actually lie on a seat for a woman. Secondly, 33,000 girls become child brides every year before age 18. 65 million child brides are alive today. Isn't that a staggering number?
Look at my face.
Yeah. In sub-Saharan Africa, women spend 40 billion hours a year just collecting water.
So from the moment you wake up till you sleep, you're just going water.
And hear this one. And hear this one. It's going to take 108 years to close gender gaps. Shocking? Listen to the next. Only 6 countries give women equal legal work rights. Belgium, Denmark, France, Luxembourg, Sweden and Latvia. That little small country
that
nobody really hears of, but they give equal rights.
Okay.
Not to say we don't have equal rights, we do have equal rights, but we know what's happening.
Shock me more.
22% of artificial intelligence professionals are women. That's AI professionals are women.
I believe this.
Yeah. For every female, this you'll find very interesting. For every female film characters, there are 2.24 men.
I'm not surprised.
So that's the way it is world over. So it's not a phenomenon that's just particular to India, but the rest have done more. We need to do much.
Who invented the bras? Men.
Seriously.
Yes. In the Victorian era, these tight corset-like things were invented. Why? Is so that women would look flat.
Yeah.
Okay? Because having breasts was something that they said were luring men into sexual crimes.
Isn't that like completely hilarious?
Yeah. So these are some of the things. You know, in terms of like we're speaking of, you know, why do we fix genders? I mean, coming back to that, why do we have to fix gender? I find this really, really funny. Is when, you know, you have like in a clinic, okay, outside a clinic, so you'll have Dr. XYZ.
Yeah.
Okay, heart specialist, cardiologist, whatever. And next to that, you have a board saying Doctor, and in brackets, Mrs. XYZ, ABC, and she'll have like cardiologist or whatever under that. Why must you specify? Exactly as you said, she's a doctor, that's it. He's a doctor, that's it. She's a scientist, he's a scientist. Why must you specify she's a lady?
Yeah.
One of the reasons for this also, Salim, which I found out, is a lot of women patients don't want to see a male doctor. Okay. Unfortunately, I do not have the statistic here with me today, but there is almost an equal number of male gynacs.
Because male gynacs, also there are a lot of women who prefer to go to a male gynac rather than a female gynac.
Yeah.
So there are those preferences when that's a matter of choice, but that really doesn't mean you need to label a doctor with a Mr., Mrs., Miss, and so on and so forth. I still don't think that's the right thing. A professional needs to be addressed as a professional, not by gender.
Okay, now Salim, I'm going to come to, and which I want to question.
But then they do have a word called Dr. Rani. They do have Dr. Rani, right?
Dr. Rani, yes.
So this entire patriarchal mindset has led to the fact that there aren't also so many women entrepreneurs. Where are the women entrepreneurs? Why are they not there?
You know, Salim, it is very, very difficult for a woman to get a loan from a bank for business.
Absolutely.
There is something which most banking policies and finance ministry has created called loans for women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Okay. So these loans are up to 10 lakhs.
Only.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like this. Is that I wanted to, I was very, very keen on starting a gluten-free bakery.
Correct.
Okay. So I was speaking to somebody who I know who's a CA, saying that, not my CA, but someone else who I know who's a CA, saying that, okay, if I need money, you know, I need about 5 to 6 lakhs just as basic seed capital, how do I get it? Oh, that's very simple. We'll approach a bank, the bank will give it. So I'm like, really? Wow. So I said, but collateral, because I don't really have anything I can put on collateral and such. I said, no. You hypothecate the business to the bank. Super, great. What does the bank need? The bank needs 2 letters, okay, from 2 people who are corporate CEOs or that same level as guarantors. So I was like, fine. You know, I have these friends. Well, I have a friend who runs her own company. So she's therefore a corporate CEO, and she can give me a letter. They all kind of hemmed and hawed and looked at each other, looked very nervous and everything, and said, Leo, can ma'am, we need someone who is male, you know, the bigger MD rehte hain. Bigger MD? I mean, like, I didn't know that you have big MD, small MD, big CEO, small CEO, medium CEO. I mean, this is ridiculous. So I was actually told that, and I was quite disgusted with the whole thing, and I said, fine, forget it. So this is the thing, like if a man goes there, he's asked to turn in his papers, which will be his complete lineup and a budget of what is he going to be putting down, what is the machinery he needs, the equipment, his valuation of the whole thing, what is the contribution that he is going to put in terms of value, what are the ROIs expected, those are the kind of papers, and he'll be told, congratulations, please, then shake hands.
Yes, you got it.
Okay, can you get it?
Yes.
That's a great.
Yeah, because I believe women entrepreneurs would do a great job.
But they're not given loans, so it's NGOs who are helping women entrepreneurs. Yeah, but again, they can't get someone like me. They have a certain social strata that they can get.
No, again, what happens is, Veena, do you know that it's only 2% of the resources that are actually owned by women? 98% of the resources are owned by men.
That's what I was going to ask you. You mean to say 98% are owned by men?
That's right. So where are you going to find those women to come out and say, yes, we have collateral also to give? They don't own those resources.
No.
So bank credit and access to bank credit, which is the second part of the story, is very hard.
Yeah.
And then you have these initiatives, which are very well intended. I would say like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. It's great, Beti Padhao. Educate them. But at the same time, give them the strength, give them the backing, remove the patriarchal mindset, and let them come forth. Don't let them feel that we are not suitable for this and we are only meant for these kind of household kind of enterprises, or we can only be teachers, we can only be nurses, we can only be administrative jobs.
You know, there was a time when, roughly 20-25 years ago, when all of IIT Bombay, all among all the students in IIT Bombay, had 4 girls.
You know, when I went to get my admissions in college, because I was always in the creative side of things, and I said, I'll pursue a Bachelor of Arts. So I got myself admission to the St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. And let me tell you, I got a little intimidated.
Yeah.
Because there were only 2 boys pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree in that college, the rest were girls.
Listen, you, as a boy, as a young man, what are you going to do with arts? Become a psychologist? What are you going to do with
Exactly,
arts?
that's what's going to you. Yeah. It's not really something that can get you any money in life. It's not manly. So there is something else attached to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, fine. You Beti ko bachaya, you Beti ko padhaya. Once that girl is finished with her, aage kya? Are you giving her that kind of support? Most girls are educated up to a BA or a BSc or some kind of graduation degree because this is a marriage certificate. Okay? To say hamari beti ya, to say hamari beti padhi likhi hai.
True.
It's a marriage certificate.
Yes. You know, somewhere earlier we pointed out in those statistics that I was reading about girl rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So women generally in these countries especially are married off at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons being, when you look at it, they're not such good investments.
You know, some of these terms that we have in India, which I think should not just be abolished, but they should be picked up, and the person who even speaks about them should be buried some 60 feet under the ground. Paraya dhan.
Exactly. Because pariah dhan क्यों है? एक तो धन लगा दिया उसके ऊपर, वो ठीक है. But it's pariah because it's better, let's get rid of this. It's not worth it. It's not a good investment.
Pati Parmeshwar.
पति देखेगा. पति उसको देखेगा. हमारा काम.
ये मेरा पति मेरा भगवान, and therefore you are immediately demoted in your class, standard, education, everything. The entertainment industry, which we have in school, this is one industry which has the greatest gender disparity.
Especially where pay is concerned for equal work.
Everything. It's not just pay. As soon as a girl, as soon as a heroine, okay, especially the film stars, as soon as a heroine gets married, she is no more an investment.
Her market value has fallen.
Her market value not just fallen, it's crashed, it's gone, it's zero. Okay? You look at any of these actresses who before they got married and after they got married, where are they? Their talent hasn't disappeared.
Absolutely.
But so you have like an Akshay Kumar and Shah Rukh Khan and Amir Khan who are quoting and singing songs around various places with girls who are old enough to be their daughters.
Yes, and why is it that there is so much of pay disparity between a hero and a heroine?
In fact, if a heroine has a larger role in a film, she's the writer or the writer/stroke director or whoever is categorically told कि इसका role कम करो.
अरे heroine को देखने आ रहे हैं, is that bad? Heroine को देखने आ रहे हैं कि hero को देखने आ रहे हैं? Film किसके नाम पे बिकेगी? So we have these hero-oriented films which are right now crashing all over. Okay, I mean worse than dead birds.
Yes.
You know, sorry to use that analogy, but because there is no story, there is no content. And
But does that happen elsewhere? Does that happen in Hollywood also?
Yes. See, gender disparity is across the place. If you're an editor, brilliant. You're a makeup artist, super. Costume designer, great. Oh wow, man, she's brilliant. She's super. All this is great. Being a camera person or being a director is a death knell. Okay, and there are a lot of us women directors, I'm using that gender, I mean director, but there's a lot of us directors who are actually suffering, either not getting work or not getting the kind of work that we want. Why? We come back to something we spoke about right at the beginning of this topic, decision making.
Yes.
As a camera person, as a director, you're the decision maker.
Yes.
Okay, the rest, largely 60 to 70% of your unit is made up of men.
So it's this entire patriarchy that has seeped into the entertainment industry. Probably it has always been there, and it's probably become a little worse now.
Salim, let's just between us look for solutions.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm looking at it that I would look at 3 things.
All right.
Flexi working hours is what you also have said.
I think flexi working hours really work, especially in the corporate and the formal sector. Large part of women, as we have seen, drop out. One of the major reasons being because they also handle household work. They at times help with aging parents. They have kids, there's motherhood, and they require to be able to balance both correctly. So if corporates were to come in and be more magnanimous about work hours and make it flexible, then it's possible that both the husband and the wife can work their work hours out in a manner that they can both work.
Also, flexi working hours work on sectors like teaching, or even the manufacturing. Like, let's say, for instance, women who are in the manufacturing sector, making switches, making keyboards, and things like that. So, if they have a flexi working hour, then okay, you take home 1,000 pieces.
Yes. Like we do in the fashion business,
yeah,
where we have little things to have made, like crochet work, which needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that is a form of giving flexi work hours to us. So Veena, in conclusion to this entire issue of gender disparity, what I really would like to believe, and coming to believe, it's the belief system.
Yes.
It's the belief system that really needs to change, in the sense that women need to be made to understand that they have to believe in themselves, that they are good enough to do what any other man can do. They can take a job of their choice. They are good enough to either become a scientist, or to become a teacher, or to become a healthcare worker, or to go to the moon in Chandrayaan next.
I don't think it's as much as the belief that we need to put into women about themselves. It's the belief that society needs to have. So if a girl says that she'd like to be a dancer, then all the best, become the best dancer. If a girl says she wants to be a doctor and wants to cut open people's hearts, then brilliant, train her, educate her so that she becomes a cardiologist. If your son says that he wants to be a ballerina, then teach him ballet.
So gender should not be an issue in your career choices,
not at all.
in your life choices.
Not at all.
Yeah, and I think it's high time that society by itself takes a stand on this.
Yes.
Corporates take a stand on this.
Yes.
We as individuals take a stand on this.
Yes, the belief system definitely, Salim. But let's not be nasty to the guys. Okay? Yes, there's a huge burden that our society has put on the men, in terms of running their houses, looking after their families, being the breadwinners, being this karta dharta, manly kind of a thing, and somewhere they feel that they do not stand up to that. Yeah.
Guys, let go of some of the responsibility that you have taken up on your shoulders. The women are there to shoulder it equally with you. So give them a chance. Veena, it was wonderful again chatting with you on the Daily Eye Show.
Same here.
And looking forward to our next session.
Absolutely.
Till then, bye-bye, and get back to us with your comments and feedback. Thank you for watching.
The Daily Eye Show.
The Daily Eye Show.